Okay, now I have audio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Guess the WN8 episode. This is a paid submission. You can guarantee that your players use by using the paid submission link in the description. I will also add details there on a link for you to be able to see the list so you can see where your replay is and maybe stand a chance of catching the review live if that is something you're interested in as well. Details on how to submit for free are also down there. Now, oh, I got to sort out the volume, it was too high in the recent episodes. Okay, so volume sorted out. Do we have engine noises? Am I just bad? I'm gonna assume we do. If we don't, blame me in the comments. And the barn! The big old barn weighs about 50 tons, believe it or not, but no one cares about the weight. No one even cares about the 32 kilometers per hour top speed. What we care about is the 183 millimeter gun. The joint largest gun on any tank in the entire game. Of course, being eclipsed by certain caliber values found on some big old biggies, such as the CGC, T92, GWE 100 tanks like that. But as far as actual tanks go, yes, we are winning in the caliber department and the alpha damage department. 1,700. Oh, I've Valsalved myself. Well, that is a dead batcher. Fun fact, did you know that every single shell type on the barn, even the one that's not used, which one could that be? Even the one that's not used, 830 meters per second shell travel time. You gonna get this? It's be wild. Ooh, that pretty aim though. Ooh. Okay. Acceptable. We have one shot everything so far. Let's keep doing it. Why ever not? But yeah, 830 meters per second on every single shell on this tank. So whether you're fighting AP or Hesh, the only real consideration is the opponent and the hit points that they are on, not the distance that they were at. Although you could argue if you're shooting like an AP shell at like, I don't know, 600 meters, then it's gonna lose pen over distance. I doubt it'll get down to 230, but I'm just giving you a hypothetical that will never, ever happen. Oh no. Oh, don't do it to a British man. He's just over there having some tea and scones. Oh, I'm not going to one-shot them, but probably still going to give him a bit of a headache. I would argue that head is aching. Okay. Fun fact to note as well. What do we have? 10 degrees of gun depression? It is 10 on the barn, isn't it? Yeah, 10, and the gun elevation is 8. 8! What is it on the Manticore? I'm curious, because the Manticore is famously awful, and very tangibly awful, because I feel like in the Manticore, you explore more maps, so you end up in more situations where the gun elevation is gonna fucking buggy you. It is 8 on this thing as well, but isn't it better? No, it's just 8 all round. Oh, no, it's 4.5 over the ass. That's what I was wondering. Oh, bless you, Manticore. You are hilarious. Okay, I want to point out as well, 1,850 hit points does imply to me that we don't have 4 levels of field mods. Because one of the field mods that you can get that's very pertinent on the FV4005 is a field mod that gives you a choice between essentially 50 more hit points or better reverse speed. And if you take the hit points, you're bad. right? Because the reverse speed of the barn is abysmal. I think it's like 8 base, and adding like 1 or 2, whatever it is, to that, I think it's 2 kilometers per hour, is really relevant for the gameplay of the ship barn, because very often you sort of like, you turn it like this, you go forward around the corner, and then you let off a shot, then you're doing this. So it's very relevant. So my equipment on the ship barn, I actually don't take a rammer, because this tank has so few circumstances where you're pushing the DPM, because it's all about just that one shot. So I think I have turbo, maybe vents, and what else would I have? Probably improved aiming, something like that. Because it's all about getting that gun to work its damn magic. Supplementary information, 230mm of pen on the Hesh shells, which probably don't even need a pen to leave that man on 20 hit points is what I was going to say. Oh, is that an improved hardening barn? It's not, is it? It's just a barn with like 1 level of, with the field mod that gives you 50 bonus hit points or whatever. But wait, 1,910? Is that weird? That's weird, right? I think that's weird. We're going for not the barn, we want the one shot. You know what? I respect it. Now you're gonna have to angle, because that barn's looking for a snack. Ooh! Okay, live by the barn, die by the barn. Wonderful. 1,910 is the aiming field mod with hardening. Really? Huh. How unique. I've never seen 1,910 hit points on a barn before. Never, never, never. Okay. So, what are we thinking? It's the barn kind of has a very similar vibe to like watching a derp gun gameplay. When you are shooting a derp gun, there is, more specifically like a mid-tier howitzer, there's very little cause, unless you're firing heat, to actually aim at like weak spots. So it's hard to perceive if a player using that gun knows his weak spots and knows where to aim. Bit of that in this circumstance. We did see the aim on the 704 was very good. Didn't aim at the tracks, aimed at the upper side. The aim on the batch out was very nice, knocking over a lot of foliage. But foliage behavior at the start seemed almost amateurish to me. Tommy, I always value your opinion on these things. What do you think? Because to me, the foliage position here, you kind of knock around here and you poke up where the CDA and STRV is. It seems really amateurish to be knocking trees down up here and to poke so high on this ridge line. Like, that just seems really foolish with an even 90 in play and a Batcher in play. In a barn, you're poking here, when you literally could achieve basically the same thing by poking here. And you have safety from crossfire. Like, it just seems so foolish. Like, maybe if the ELC had been spotted in mid or spotted over here or something, yeah, and you knew you could poke for a single shot just to get higher up. But, yeah, it's not good play. Worked out in this game, but it's not principled. What's interesting to me is that it was very deliberate in terms of knocking over foliage. So there's someone who understands the benefit of foliage, but isn't good enough to understand, yes, foliage is nice, but there are better, less effort and simpler positions that he could be using. So you would think a very skilled player seeing that batch at die would have been aimed at that even 90 as he was going along here. Like, during this line, like, you would have been aimed thinking, if he still gets spotted, I can take him out. Because that even 90 represents the best and, frankly, almost the only vision represented by the enemy team on a highly foliage-filled map. Like, so that even 90 is probably, if he was a good player, and this is like, everyone in this game is good, that even 90 is probably one of the most valuable tanks left on the enemy team. Just in terms of, it represents gameplay that if it dies, they do not possess anymore. They don't have camera, they don't have viewings, they don't have this tiny little mobile light tank that can sneak around, right? It takes away an entire facet of gameplay. Whereas that doesn't happen if you kill a 704, they still have the Waffle, they still have the SUs. Doesn't happen if you kill the AMX, because they still have an E77, a 703, and a Contradictorious, right? So it is a way that you can approach games, is you can look not at specific tanks, but think about the broader tactical prowess that those tanks represent. Light tanks are your mobility, your stealth, your view range. Medium tanks are your flexibility. Heavy tanks are your power, your holding potential. TDs are your distance support. Right? And you think, okay, right now, if I can take out their last remaining light tanks, then they lose this capacity. Mediums, this capacity. Heavies, this capacity. It's another way of looking at and analysing games, and it can actually allow you to say, okay, if I kill the even 90, then suddenly I can be more aggressive because they don't have that vision potential. So, estimate 50.78, 1,354. Wow, okay, better than I thought. Better than I thought, by quite a margin. And doing a lot better recently. Fair play, okay. I owe this man some gold. Okay, replay number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Another paid one. Look in the description for details about that. 50B. Full premium, I said earlier while reviewing the stats. I doubt we're going to see much of the 257 AP pen. We are not indeed. 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. Bounty hardening, bounty vert stabs, and experimental mobility, along with a stabilizer in the modification slot, or whatever the hell it's called, and a premium consumable. This man's working hard in his 50B. 2,450 hit points, 2,100 base. And we got a 65 kph top speed, benefited by the turbo, probably getting up to around 70 here. And immediately, I know this is a good player. Why? Even if I didn't see the marks of excellence, where are we going? What do I say in autoloaders? And 50B, one of the best autoloaders in the game, in my humble opinion. Be proximal to the combat, but not the prodigal element of it. I don't know if I'm using the word prodigal right. We're going over here. We're going second line. We're going opportunistic. We're not going right up in the face of people to trade shots with heavies poking on the corner. No, we're going back here waiting for opportunity, looking at what position that we can get. Oh, no, we're not doing... Okay. I mean, we're still going. We're still second line support. Okay. Yeah. This is fine. Okay, having a look-see. Perhaps this man has experience with that position. Seems a little bow, gun up. And that is interesting because in the 50B, you see how thick this gun mantle is? I mean, thick in terms of armor, it is, but look at this fat ass. Like, let's look at the model. Let's just look at, like, there's an innocent, like, tier 10 TD sat at the back there going 50B turret, and then all it sees as the 50B on treats is just this guy. Look at the amount of purple on the screen. Look how it gets more purple the higher the gun goes up. More purple. And then it goes to the side, even more purple. Look how much purple! I want to elaborate, but you ain't gonna pen purple, right? Purple ain't penning. purple don't pen. So that's what we're doing here. And the TD at the back was like, no, it's all gun mantlet. Why, oh why is my life so painful? But yes, prudent stuff. And now that he sees that position is not particularly viable for a big old opportunistic autoloader moving about. And we're not at the front of the combat. Right? We're waiting. We're opportunistic. This is the difference between good and bad autoloader gameplay. We're just opportunistic. And look at this. We're looking at like 1,300 shell velocity. Something like that. 0.25 accuracy, 2.5 seconds of aim time. And we're sitting here going through about a 25-second reload, something like that, probably. I'm assuming this man's got BIA, and probably some other crew skills helping out as well. And the man's at the keyboard, dancing back and forth purely out of habit, right? Not really any tactical use in this particular circumstance for that dancing, but you just do it to give your fingers something to do on the keyboard, almost. And look at that, the accuracy of the 50B is working. 50B does have that benefit in terms of accuracy. Oh, and this is very nice. Spying the opportunity, heavy tanks moving over the 90 line, but we know they've got presence at the back of some description, so we just go straight from the mid now that we've tightened the Foch and the Super Conk off the lunch line. Like it very much. Now, we should be able to use this lock to... Oh, this is gorgeous. We're going to pull up by this lock, shielded from the top of the hill here, and pummel some fire into probably the chuffer to potentially the Super Conk as well. This is going to be lovely. Oh, look at that booty. Module targeting if possible. Oh, it's a wall. I don't know why I started to say module for that last shot. Yes, module target when he's on 100 hit points. Well done, Steve. Okay, so this is good Leadshire principles. I'll tell you this. The objective on Leadshire is, and this doesn't apply to the west of the map, really. This only applies to the east of the map. So I'm talking sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 line, right? The rule is win the flank, not the corner. That's literally how you play this entire line. You don't win this position if you're attacking from the south, because it's largely irrelevant to whether you win the game or not. The same principle applies to back hit. You don't win this position by attacking into it over this open ground, exposing to crossfire present up here. No, instead you come down here, you push up here, you push someone low there, you crossfire with here. You don't go all the way out into this open land in the same way you don't attack this because of the presence that you have on the hill here. So you use this entire lunch line. Right, this entire lunch line that is on right now, after you win this area, you come down here and you use all of this. Right, all of the space, wherever you want to poke, wherever you want to have a look, you get a vision onto this, you clear up the mid, and you go from there. So that's why we're not attacking into the T30 and 60 TP, because they're really not relevant to the outcome of this game. Or at least in my experience of Leadshire as a map, and that is the booty of the turret of a Super Conk. Very nice. 2 shells left. Oh, side of a Foch. Not as an appealing target as it once was, when it was like, what was it? Chat, was it 30? I remember whenever you'd see like old meta 155 in like a town engagement on Ensk, you literally, like, if it was just tilted slightly to the side and was using like 2 degrees of gun arc, you just had the pixel shot, you can just overmatch the side. It was really funny. Did it with an E75 once. It was wiggling. And I just wanted to shoot his cupola. I just shot his side and overmatched him. It was highly amusing. I very much enjoyed it. And look at this new location. What are we doing right now from a tactical perspective? we've already discussed how these guys are largely irrelevant to the outcome of the game. They don't matter because they don't have threat. They don't have recourse. Are these guys gonna win this flank? Are they gonna powerfully influence the game? Not really. Like, maybe they get the kill on this guy, maybe they get a bit of lucky stuff, but they're not doing an awful lot. The reason why I'm so happy with this relocation is because we talk about multi-level engagements, right? And we talk about how they're very strong against receiving pushes. The beautiful thing about what's going to be established here is that it's not only going to be a multi-level in terms of receiving a linear push over the top towards the cap, but it's going to be a crossfire between the K1-2 positions and what the presence that we have here. And we talk about weaknesses, a multi-level engagement as it's conventionally understood, or as I describe it, is weak against non-linear assaults. So you don't charge into it. Just an example. This KPZ wants to attack into this Grill 15, but this Grill 15 has the support of the FV405 behind him, right? So, multi-level engagement between the Grill and the FV. And if this KPZ wants to attack the forward position, he can't do that without also having to consider the impact of the FV, which he cannot engage in the same engagement as the Grill 15. He can't attack this guy and attack this guy at the same time. That's a multi-level engagement. So the conventional way, or the theoretical, tactical way that you deal with this situation is you generally go for the supported position first. Right? You will go around in a non-linear capacity and you'll come in on the side. You'll go under and around, you'll attack the supported position, weakening the forward position and leaving it isolated and getting it killed. Right? The weakness of a crossfire is commitment. Against a committed, powerful enemy force that chooses an angle and goes, crossfires are at their weakest. They're still good. It's still better most of the time than having both your tanks in one place or all your tanks in one place to receive that push, right? Having someone at a slightly different angle is generally better, but they're at their weakest. The longer someone hesitates from pushing a position, the stronger a crossfire will be. So combining a multi-level engagement with a crossfire basically eliminates all of the weaknesses. It is incredibly difficult to do, but I think we may be seeing it here, because the crossfire is established over this land. The multi-level engagement is also established over this land, because if you engage this, you also have to consider that part of the engagement, but you can't engage that at the same time as engaging this. This is a magical relocation. The triangle of death? Yeah, there would be a triangle of death if we occupied this position, but I think it is managed at this point to move to K2, K3. And honestly, I think the principles of like triangle of death, if you have 2, make a line, if you have 3, make a triangle, if you have 4, make a square, I think those principles are more useful when you have less tanks on the battlefield. There's less nuance to worry about, and that's when those principles become really important, because that's when those mistakes matter more. Right? Just gonna say, you're gonna lose some gold with this one. Really? We shall see. Okay, look at this. This positioning is just gorgeous, and let's remind ourselves, man's still on full health. How often do I talk about containing hit points in your autoloaders? It is so important. More important than in regular tanks, because in regular tanks, your capacity for damage output is not reduced by being on a one-shot. In autoloaders, a very fundamental concept of your being is to say, okay, I'm going to take a hit to deal more hits. And you can't do that when you're a one-shot for the thing that you're taking the hit from. Right? So in autoloaders, your good principles, keep your health, but general advice for bad players, if you're trying to learn autoloaders, play as if you have like 500 hit points less than you actually do at like tier 9 and 10. And that'll probably take you from like 50 to 52%. Like, that's 2% win right there. Just acting like you have less health than you do, and only using that health when you absolutely need to. Alright, here we go. Ass of a STRV, hopefully. And this STRV is not going to have a good time at that. Oh, okay. Save the shot and put it into the grill. Kill secure on the grill. Kill. Oh, no. My man. Kill secure on the grill. Why you let me down? Look at that. Oh, you could have just, you double tracked him. You could have just rammed him repeatedly to death and put the last shot into the... No! It was all going so well! No! No, I found a misplay. I'm so sad. Oh, well. Can't win them all. Okay, question. Do you now hug a T-54? Got carried away? Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you're unloading in a 50B, you only had 2.5 seconds between the shots, but easy to get overexcited, I guess. Okay, and Chuffeters maybe giving you an opportunity on big old Foosh. It's good shooting. Aim higher, aim higher. Actually, that's viable. 325 pen, like down through, because he's angled the back of his tank up. I mean, I think Roof is probably a better shot there, but maybe not, because you run the risk of hitting the non-model part of the cupola. But down here, because the Foch is sloped, yeah, at this angle, you can actually pen it. Good stuff. Okay. 8,000 damage coming out, hitting up that one-year load again. Oh god, this guy's camera work is insane. Are we gonna maul an STRV to death again? But we're not overexposing. We're waiting patiently. Oh yes, double, but tiny bit more to the right, my man. This foliage is gold if the CS spots. Oh my. Oh, that's unfortunate. T30. Oh, this exposure is bold. STRV gets the track off. Okay. That was a bold unload. We don't know exactly where the T30 is. Might well have had an angle on that position. CS dies. Now, what do we talk about in late game situations like that, right? Yeah, it was an important clip, but it was certainly dangerous. Not saying it was the wrong thing to do, I'm just pointing out the potential danger and awareness that presumably he had. We talk about if you have two tanks, make a line, right? So, on the map, line between these two positions. This should be able to shoot this, should be able to shoot this. If you have three tanks, make a triangle. This should be able to shoot this, should be able to shoot this, should be able to shoot this, should be able to shoot that. If you have four tanks, make a square. This to that, to this, to that, to this, right? But in this circumstance, the hit points that remain convey such power against the tanks that remain against this guy that I think aggression is merited. I think the ability to remove guns from play and remove hit points on these vehicles, given the strength of the hit points that you have remaining, outweighs the tactical precedence of establishing that network of support. I think what you're doing right now, you go low, you go around the outside of the cap, and you pressure this 130, right? Because the STRV, as great a tank as it can be, it ain't flexible. Like, you can work your way around an STRV in a position like this, because even if it spots you, it's got to go in and out of siege mode to shoot you. So I reckon you just go for the 113 here. Oh, an STRV. Are we stopping? We're stopping. Okay, very nice track. Wait for the repair. Lovely. Lovely stuff. No reason not to fully unload. Oh, that sucks. Not going to be the end of the world, though. That is unlucky. And you just wait, and then you... Oh. Wow, STRV relinquishes the position against an unloading 50B, presumably because he saw the shot come in from 60 TP. We talked about lines earlier, it's coming into play. But, okay, now the STRV wants to come back. Does he? I mean, 50B wins this engagement regardless. What is that position by the 113? I mean, presumably he was expecting the STRV to, like, be up there pummeling this guy, which he should have been. It's about the only way you win. So, if that was the case, I kind of get the 113's position. But now that the STRV hasn't done that at all, it just looks really dumb, which is quite funny. Oh, gently does it, and there you go. 11,000 damage, 60 TP goes down. Surely the K-line's looking very hospitable right now. We don't know where this T-30 is, hasn't been seen in a while, has acquired 2 kills. Okay, let's remember, 400 meters of base fuel range on the 50B. Looks like we're choosing to go after the T-30. Is viable, certainly. This is an encounter game. We've got 5 minutes and 30 left. Now, if these guys know what they're doing, they're going to be in the same place and working together. But the fact that we haven't seen that T-30 in the entire engagement at the 9-0 line would imply to me that he's not exactly a team player. And this is good principled autoloader play. Going after isolated low hit point tanks, that's basically lesson 101 in your autoloaders, maybe only behind keep your hit points, right? But you see how powerful the 50B is in situations like this because it has hit points. Because it has the ability to say, okay, I'm going to take a hit from a T-30, he's going to be dead before he reloads. I'm going to take a hit from a 60 TP, and he's going to be dead before he reloads, quite possibly. But now we're just waiting for awareness, but we're not sitting somewhere where we're blind. We're trying to keep this awareness up constantly. Now, oh, hello. Good. Very good. We do go for a reload. Not sure we needed to, but if we're assuming the T-30 is passive, I'd be a tad worried about the T-30 coming up here. But that's probably me overthinking myself. We are checking it. Very bold. Okay. We know that 60 TP's in the low round, so we're just YOLOing for the 60 TP. Alright. Alrighty. I'd come around on the left side of this. I don't like this. There's really no reason not to come around the left side here. Because if you, like, you're probably still not going to lose, even if it does happen. But if you go here, you might wind up in a situation where you're caught between the 60 TP hold down on one side and the T-30 hold down on the other side, which is just tactically really unpleasant and could be alleviated entirely by going that way and having both of the possible positions of the enemy basically in front of you. So, I don't like this from a tactical perspective. Let's see what we can do, utilizing the mobility of the 50B. We're still expecting that 60 TP in the low round to the right. This is why I love the 50B, man. It's so flexible. Look at it just waltzing around having a great time. Oh, bless you, 50B. Bless you. Oh, and that 60 TP did not see this coming. 400 meters of view range on the 50B. Someone's pinging. Oh, that's him pinging. Oh. track. And that's a GG. 12,098 hit points of damage. That is a wonderfully played game. That is quite genuinely wonderful. Tommy thinks I'm gonna lose some gold. Aside from the tiny lapses in optimizations in the kill on the STRV, I think you should have kill secured the grill in the middle, mid-clip and land the STRV. And the tiny suboptimal approach to the T-30's position. I think this is almost a perfect autoloader game. Like, it's a fantastic example of how you should play autoloaders in supportive position and wait for their capacities to open up in the late game. It's just a fantastic example of all of the principles that I talk about in autoloaders. Keep your health, be proximal but not prodigal. It was wonderful. Let's see, estimate 60.19, 4,012. I want to put the win rate higher, dude. I'm going 61.19. I think the missteps are mild enough. Probably 61. What? I do not understand that. It's literally, it's like someone taking performance enhancing drugs. It literally is. It's like he was terrible for most of his career, and then he just lawyered it out and became this like godlike player. What the hell, dude? Nice. Tell you what, for this WN8, we're going to do a test segment, and you guys can let me know in the comments if you enjoy it. We're going to do a test segment called Game Losing Play, where the last game of the day, we're going to look at the game losing play, the play that lost the game. And I think most people in chat will know exactly what play I mean. Fairly damn foolish. Gonna STRV backing off, quite right, people, quite right indeed. STRV actually moving forward, doing some work, gets the luck of the gods by not dying to the final shell. This is good for awareness. Him popping up here, I don't know why he went into siege mode here. Like, I don't know why he doesn't just scout, just to get a bit of awareness. Like, coming over the hill is a misplay. You get awareness with, you're quite mobile, right? In the STRV, you just poke up, you tilt up, you try and say, hey, where's this 50B going? And you fall back in the STRV and you wait for your 113, you wait for support. And to be honest, the 113 plays this awfully as well, because their entire remaining network of support, what do we talk about, right? If you have 4 people, make a square. This supports this, supports this, supports this, supports this. Like, that's the principle. So, how do you enforce that in this endgame state against a very flexible tank like a 50B? Well, you stay on this side of the hill, right? You stay on this side. The 113 stays on this side as well. If the 50B wants to attack you, he has to either poke up and hopefully expose, right? Or he has to come round into the area where you're establishing networks of support. What you certainly don't do is you don't come all the way round here in the lowland completely isolated from your support, which is what this STRV is doing. It's what the 113 did. And even though I do think, like, this is a misplay. He should have just died, like, right here. Like, this shot not being a kill is, I mean, it just boggles the mind. But it doesn't get the kill. The STRV needs to stay. He needs to stay. The 60 TP misses him. Well, you got like 15 seconds now. Nerfed 60 TP. Why do you back off? 113's coming in behind. You know this 50B is reloading. You know he's reloading. You stay here and you pummel. The 113 tries to come round and push him out further. One shot from the STRV. 2 shots from the STRV. 20 shots from the STRV. 1 shot from a more prepared 113. It's over 1,000 hit points. And if everything else goes the same, he loses the game. So this right here is the game-losing play. The STRV falling back from this lunch line instead of pressuring the most damaging, the most threatening tank remaining on the enemy team. So, yeah, let me know if you enjoyed the play of the game segment where we review who fucked up and where. Figure it might be helpful. I'm going to go and pay this man some gold. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Look in the description for links. The next and previous episodes will be in there, as well as the playlist. And do, if you're interested, check out my new series, Anatomy Student Reviews Fitness Fails, where I look through people doing dumb things in the gym and use my anatomy and physiology qualification to tell you exactly why they are dumb. Thank you very much. That'll be linked in the description as well. Bye bye.
Humanity peaks at our community manager. He is mentally jacked and strengthening our backs just like the counterweight on the turret of the challenger. Cause if we find ourselves in a crappy mood, you will brighten our day just through your attitude. Steven and Peabody, badass crew. So please take the song as a token of my gratitude.